All right. Welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I haven't been posting a lot. And the reason is my husband is very security conscious.
Yes.
And as you know, we were away on vacation. He doesn't want me posting on Instagram pictures from when we're on vacation because he's afraid people are going to come and steal our stuff. You have got to be brain dead in order to do that, or want a lot of my yarn. Because really, there's not much else. My computer is from 2015. So if you need a computer, God bless your little heart if you take that. Shoes, I haven't bought new shoes since I retired. So we have no new shoes.
And the TV has suns.
Yes, we have white spots in the TV. I think we're up to 15 at the moment.
Oh.
Yes. So I can't imagine why anybody would want to break in.
We respect his safety
but
consciousness.
We respect his safety consciousness. So I don't post while we're away because the only thing to post about is things that we're doing on vacation. We had a great time. And I can show you the one thing I worked on for Sara, which I'll talk about in a bit. But for some reason, my water shoes, my Sperry water shoes,
there you
go, are too big. So I did I-cords.
Ah, yes.
And I turned them into ballet slippers.
That works.
And it was great. So I ended up swimming for half an hour plus every day.
Nice.
So that was really good. Did I say we went to St. Thomas?
No.
We went to St. Thomas. Delayed almost 2 hours getting out of Kennedy because the plane needed de-icing. We then were getting very close to St. Thomas where they diverted us to Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Because a smaller plane had popped a tire on the runway and was stuck.
Which is not uncommon, we have found out, for that airport, because of how fast you have to decelerate.
Oh yeah, otherwise you're gonna hit the mountain.
Little planes are more likely to not have their tires be
properly inflated.
No, it's more.
There's a lot of private planes. Too.
It's also because smaller planes you cannot have tires like you do on the bigger planes.
Right.
So it typically does not happen with bigger planes. It does happen decently often with the little planes. And because I was a bit panicked.
Well, yes. I mean, it was the same week that the helicopter and the plane had an accident at Reagan. That wasn't great.
Nope.
Then there was a plane that blew up over Philadelphia.
Yep.
And there was a third one. So we were not copacetic, really.
And of course, Ben and I were not home while this was happening. We were flying later that evening.
I was trying to be as calm as possible.
You were. We were all trying to be as calm as possible for each other.
You know, we're just diverted to Puerto Rico.
We're fine.
And we were fine.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I made dinner reservations at the hotel, and it turned out to be wonderful that I did that because they were fully booked when we got there.
Oh, I bet.
So we checked it. Well,
sorry, y'all.
I saw that happening, but I didn't know why it was happening.
Because my yarn decided to do that. Hold on. Okay, so that's about... That's good.
Okay, so we checked in, we ran to our room, we threw the suitcases in and went up to the hotel restaurant. And she was saying, well, it could be 8:30. I said, well, your father says, I don't know if it helps, but we had dinner reservations that we ended up having to cancel since we were diverted to Puerto Rico. She goes, oh, I have those reservations. I went, oh, thank you. So instead of having to wait an hour and a half, she immediately found us a table.
That's awesome.
Very awesome. So I found out it's well worth making the dinner reservations and then communicating with the restaurant if there's a problem. And I had said, this is totally
out of your control.
Out of control. I'm sitting on the airport in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So anyway, once we got down there,
I'm not supposed to be in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico still looks lovely. That's not the problem.
No,
the problem
it's that you weren't supposed to be
someplace
there.
else.
Yeah.
Right. So it took me 2 days to calm down from the trip down. We rented a car. Turned out renting the car was not a bad idea because then we didn't have to run on anybody else's schedule. The roads in St. Thomas are rather abrupt. I mean, you come up...
When you go over hills.
Yes, because it's built on a volcano, and they don't get any ice or snow. So they don't have to really worry about traction. We wouldn't have roads like that around here because we get snow. And in fact, now... New Orleans gets snow. So.
Yeah, I know.
But, so anyway, they have more precipitous roads that took me a little while to get used to. But we were okay, and your father was really good at going slow. So that was good. And yeah, we had a really good time. In the meantime, I did work on my For Sara, and we're going to be talking about that
I was going to say, I finished something.
All right, well, I have almost finished this, but yes, go ahead.
So, before we went away... We went to New Orleans for Chewbacca's, which was a lot of fun. But I finished my Bats Pullover. I wore it while we were down there. I did not get photos while we were down there because, you know, that happens. But I wore it. I love it. I did weave in the ends before I wore it because I was like, you know what? We're going to be out and about. But it's really lovely. I think I'm probably going to wear it again this week. But yeah, I'm really excited. It used a lot more yarn than and not more than it was supposed to, but like more than I thought it did.
Okay.
But I think that's because of the color work at the top. I think because I'm, you know, you're holding the purple, you're carrying the purple throughout, it just feels like it shouldn't have used that much yarn, but it did.
But it's going all around.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is it's like 1,400 yards, something like that in here. So yeah, I finished that. But yeah, what did you finish or almost finish?
I have been working on my For Sara. So this that I have.
Hold on, you can't really see it. Let me bring there we go. You can now see. There we go.
Is one skein. But it's not all of one skein. I have this much yarn got caught in my suitcase zipper, so I have that to add in, and I made a very large gauge swatch. This is DK weight cotton, and I'm using a size 8 needle. So if you want to make a For Sara, because summer is coming, choose your cotton yarn. And I said for DK, use an 8, and then I have started again, with fingering cotton, and I'm using a size 5. I started with an 8 down here, and I said that is just too loose. Too loose. Here's a 5. So what I'd like you to do if you want to work on a For Sara is this week get some cotton yarn, and if it's fingering, look and see about a size 5. If it's a DK weight, look at a size 8 needle. And I want you to do knit 1, purl 1. I have 40 stitches with knit 1, purl 1. And I'm going to go up about 5 inches so I can see what the gauge is going to be. And once we do that, and next week we'll talk about the cast on.
Okay.
For this.
Okay.
So.
Make a nice, decent gauge swatch.
Yes, make a nice size gauge swatch because we're going to be relying on that for not only the top part, but this lower part. And the lower part, I took out 1/9 of the stitches.
Okay.
That doesn't seem right.
Okay, what did you do?
I went from 180 stitches down to 100.
So you took out 80 stitches. You took out almost half. So you took out like what? You took out like a 40%?
Something like that. Anyway, I took out 40%.
I'm looking for my phone, and my phone is up there.
Anyway, I was trying to do this math in the car on the way over, so obviously not good. But you have to be able to get this on and off, either over your head or up past your hips. And I do better just bring it up past my hips. So I had taken more out, and I couldn't get it on past my hips. So you need to know how much stretch you're going to get, so that you know how far down you can go, because you do want to have some tightness around your rib cage, because otherwise it doesn't show up as having done any decreases at all. So anyway, if you're interested, make a gauge swatch of knit one, purl one. I said I'm going to go up about 5 inches. After you've made your gauge swatch, and this is one that I have washed and dried.
That's not knit one, purl one, though.
No.
Okay.
I started the gauge swatch before I started this, and then after I started working on my Sara, I realized
that you wanted it in knit
that
one,
I
purl
wanted
one.
it in knit one, purl one, because I wanted that kind of stretchiness.
Okay.
So anyway, but you can see it's going to be really lovely.
Yeah.
When washed. But I'm going to take this apart and add it to the bottom of this. I have not woven in the end.
Nice.
On the bottom, because I knew I had this. I knew I had this. And I want to make mine as long as possible. Now, I have not started working on the inside. So that will be something that we'll talk about later on.
Okay.
But I have been working. See, I've got major decreases here. Yeah. I'm really excited about it.
Nice.
So that I worked on.
Nice.
Go ahead.
So I also worked on a few other things. And so one of them is the Mondrian Pullover by 2 of Wands, which I think I showed everyone. And I was getting the yarn from the Wandering Flock for it. And I also got some yarn from Camellia Fiber Co. Let's see, is this gonna work for me?
I'm gonna get mine out, because the next thing I'm gonna talk about is on that.
So this is the pullover.
Let me see. Oh yes.
So I wanted to check gauge and color placement. So I think what I'm going to do is this color placement up top with the it going the green as the dark, the purple as the like mustardy color, the sand as the like white in there, and then the blue is going to be what the like sagey color is on the pattern. But I did multiple sizes. So this is a 9.
See that.
This is a 10. This is a 10 and a half, and this is an 11. After much deliberation, I think we're gonna go with the 10 and a half. The 11 does get me gauge, but it is quite like not see-through, but like you can, if you look, you can see much more through it, and I just don't know that I want that much openness. So I'm gonna go with the 10 and a half and just go up. I think it's 2 sizes. I ended up I did all the math on it, but I am trying to finish a different sweater first before I cast that on.
I gave up trying to finish this because my jacket, my aqua jacket, has so much fluff that I didn't want to take it on the plane with me. It turns out that when I'm on vacation, we end up doing so many things that what I need to take with me is something very simple. So, like a sock, or pretty much what I'm going to talk about here, because not working on a pattern. In other words, for me, what's difficult is kind of trying to create a new pattern. Not necessarily following a new pattern. However, my jacket pattern is rather intense, so I didn't take that with me. I also didn't work on my shawl, because again, that's something I'm developing, so I'm working out the math on that. I may work on that this week. So last night when we were watching the music from Saturday Night Live 50 years, see that.
I'm okay.
I decided I needed something simple.
Okay. So how many cables does it have? I say that having not actually. Oh, it does have. Yep.
Yeah, it has 4 cables.
Cables, as my mother calls cables, simple. I mean, I also call it simple. Yes.
And I was looking at projects that I had put up and said, this is what I want to make. This is probably from 2 or 3 years ago.
I mean, hold on a second. If you stashed it in 2015.
Long time ago. Anyway, this is the yarn.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice, but that's not what I'm using.
Oh, okay.
I'm using instead.
So you went through and looked and saw what you already had kind of tagged as wanting to do.
Yes.
But you're using you're deciding if you want to use that yarn or a different yarn.
I put the yarn away.
Oh.
When I take it out of the bags that I have the projects in and say, oh, that's fingering, let's put it up there, I lose track of it. So instead, I have Wollonbine. And I have the same amount, 4 skeins, which is 435 yards times 4.
So
which
almost
is
1,700
yards. This thing, it says it'll take anywhere from 1,400 to like 2,000. I'm making a medium.
Okay.
Because I am losing weight. We've found out that my cardiologist says, of course you're going to be hungry. You're losing weight. So he says, I can't stand these people that say, no, you don't have to be hungry to lose weight. He goes, yes, you're going to be hungry. So I'm hungry. I tend not to eat very much for breakfast, not to eat very much for lunch, but to have a regular dinner. And that seems to work. And that's what we did on vacation. It was so funny because the waitresses, everybody says, oh, have a drink. Oh, have a dessert. And I said, you know, one of the waitresses, I said, we were just having a discussion about adulting. And I think that means not overeating in my case, because the only person I'm hurting is myself. And as we were checking out, lovely woman at the front desk, lovely woman, maybe 20 years old, but really a sweetie. And I say, well, you know, I try not to overeat. She's, why not? I said, because I don't want to be elephantine. Small piggy is fine, but not elephant. I said, it's really a matter of looking at me and what do I need. Because as you know, right before we left, I had blood tests, you know, the half-yearly blood tests, and he was thrilled with everything except how much I'm attracted to the earth. So that's the only thing that I seem to have to work on. So I guess I'll be hungry, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. My life is lovely. Should I tell him about the car?
No.
What, that it lost a piece?
Oh, yes.
My car is 18 years old, and yesterday we went to the grocery store because, of course, we had to restock after having been away. We had no fresh vegetables. We had nothing fresh. We had no fish. We had nothing. So we went to the grocery store, and I purposely wanted to use my car because the grocery bags are in my car. So we get to the grocery store, we do the grocery shopping, we come back, we get off the Wantagh Parkway, and we're at the stop sign. We go through the stop sign, all of a sudden I hear a clunk, and then a metal scratching against the road. I'm going, oh my God. So Richard goes, pull over right now. He gets very flustered when something happens and I'm driving. So we pulled over, and he gets down and looks at it. He can't see a thing.
Of course not.
No. So then I get down, I see there's something that has dropped. I can't, from where I'm looking, I couldn't tell whether it was a pipe or just a piece of metal. Well, anyway, he shinnied under, pulled it out. It's some kind of guard from the wheel well.
Lovely.
Yes. It's a piece of metal, and it's just rusted through. So it's not, the wheel now still runs.
Yep.
It's not a piece of the brake. It's not. It's just the interior of the wheel well has rusted through. I have ordered a new car. It's supposed to come sometime in the next 3 weeks. I'm just hoping that my car holds up for the next 3 weeks. I'm not going to drive it, so it'll sit in the driveway for the next 3 weeks. So this is yarn. So this is not the yarn that I had proposed for that, but it's a pattern that I can follow, that I'm not having to rethink the math on.
Right.
That's what makes it easy.
Yeah.
Not that it's just going to be simple stockinette stitch and all of that. And so I have started the
swatch.
Gauge swatch. They wanted it there's 2 size needles, like 3 and a 5. They wanted the gauge swatch done on the 5. So I figure I'm going to do another 2 inches.
Okay.
I'll wash it, I'll dry it, and check the gauge.
Is it in stockinette or is it on the cable?
It's in stockinette.
Okay.
Is the gauge swatch. I checked.
Okay.
So it's relatively the same colors I had put aside. And I just needed something that I wasn't doing the developing on.
That makes sense.
Yes. So anyway, that's... But meanwhile, I also have my shawl. So I need to figure out the next set of increases on that and then do that pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may do that this week.
Okay.
And we can talk about that. I will also then finish adding to the length of this and then maybe work on what I'm going to be doing on the inside. This cotton, I think, needs to be washed to regain its shape.
Probably.
But I didn't want to do anything to it until I talked to you all. So that's all I have. What else do you have?
So what I have going in my lap here is the Fittonia pullover. And I tried it on, so obviously, we all know how I do sweaters, is I try to do sleeves first. So I tried it on last night, and I've got about 7 inches to go on the sleeves, to the where I would want the cuff. So that means to the end of the cuff. So that means I need about 5.5 inches, and then it's about 1.5 inches cuff. So that's 20 rows from my little mushroom guy here.
Oh, cool.
So, or 20 pattern sets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 rows each. So I've got, the sweater is moving.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I have so far done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I just started the 7th. So I've got almost halfway.
13 more rows?
I've got 13 more pattern repeats, and it's a 2-row pattern repeat.
Oh, 26 rows.
So yeah, so it's 20 of this column.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really liking it. It's really quite meditative.
Nice.
It's
a slip stitch pattern?
Yep. I really like it. I really liked when I saw my friends all wear it at Vogue, so I'm hoping to have it done
by next year.
Well, by Rhinebeck, I think. Definitely. But I really want to get it done. And the sleeves are kind of just taking forever. I started a series of photos of where am I knitting on my Fittonia to keep me motivated to do it. So I brought it with me down to New Orleans. So I worked on it in the airport lounge, on the plane. I didn't get photos of it on the plane.
I just can't do that anymore. I have ended up watching, not cartoons, but anime or Transformers 1.
Okay.
I need something that I can descend into rather than if I'm knitting and it's going like this, then I'm well aware that we're bouncing all over the place. So I find that I need to subsume into some ridiculous movie, and I mean ridiculous. I watched Wild Robot.
I heard that was really good.
It's cute.
Okay.
What I loved Conclave. Oh my God.
Okay.
The movie Conclave was, I thought, riveting.
Okay.
Absolutely riveting. Fantastic. 3 hours.
Okay.
Our flight was 4.5, so that was really pretty good. Transformers 1.
The original?
No, it's a prequel.
Oh.
And very interesting.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that. I didn't get to see the end of it. I think I had 20 minutes left to go when we landed. So I find I can't knit on the plane unless it's a very smooth flight, because this is going to make me almost seasick as we're going along. So anyway, I think it was a good move on my part not to bring all this knitting with me, because we wouldn't have found time, because we were going out to dinner each night. I have to say that We enjoyed almost all the restaurants that we went to. One was pretty poor. But the rest of them were really quite good. So anyway, that was exciting. What else have you got?
So one of my birthday presents arrived, and it is a set of mother of pearl, like, sewing tools.
It's really pretty.
In a case with some antique thread and other
Which
things.
I wouldn't use.
No, I wouldn't either. It's silk, but
probably
still.
rotten.
Yeah.
What are those
silk.
needles?
I don't know. I keep trying to figure it out, but it's hard to get them out.
They're double pointed.
Are they double pointed needles?
They look like double pointed needles to me.
Could be, yeah. Maybe for some darning or something.
That would make sense. I think they're double pointed needle sets.
Fun. But yeah, so a friend of mine got this for me.
It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. It looks like a treasure.
It is. I'm very excited. It's very pretty. I'm gonna clean all of the pieces, because this may be my favorite. It's an old-fashioned seam ripper. So it's just a knife. It's just a knife.
My mom used to send me to school with a knife like that.
I think
Can you imagine sending a kindergartner to school with your own blade? But she sent me to school with oranges, and so you needed a sharp knife.
Oh, of course, yes.
To cut the orange peel.
Yeah.
And no one blinked twice. It was a gorgeous little knife with an ivory cover.
Yes, and then this beautiful awl.
That's great.
It was beautiful. And so I'm very pleased to know.
It's a button hook. Two button hooks.
2 button hooks and a corkscrew for something. These are tweezers. This, I think, is a bodkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a little tiny crochet hook.
Yes.
So yeah.
Very
nice. Excited. Yes. My one friend who texted me and was like, I don't know if you're into antiques, but this is like totally cute. And I was like, I am into antiques.
Yes. What have you got now?
So these then are 2 things I ordered because we saw them in New Orleans at the Quarter Stitch. And Ben actually does know how to stitch. So he's going to make one of them and I'm going to make the other.
I like the cafe.
But that was the one he picked.
Yes.
But they didn't have these 2 when I was looking through the boxes. So one is a Taste of New Orleans Cafe du Monde.
With beignets.
And then this is a Mardi Gras mask. They're supposed to be about like 3.5 or 3 5/8 inch squares. They're the little guys. I was thinking that they'd be fun to do. And then maybe find some other little guys to do for other places we've gone. And
that would
kind
be
of
nice.
Make a little vignette.
That would be very nice.
But yeah, but other than that,
well, I tell you, in St. Thomas, I did not look up any handicraft shop.
Oh?
I guess we picked a Sunday to kind of go through town. We talked to one of the owners of the new Hotel 1820. So it was a hotel in 1820. First it started as a house. Then it became a hotel, then it became a lot of other things, and then it was empty for about 20 years, I think she said, and they are renovating it. They don't have a restaurant yet. They have a bar. They have a couple of the rooms set up. It's right in town, so if you want to be right kind of up the hill, partially up the hill, in downtown Charlotte Damali, it would be a lovely place to stay. They have a pool. Found out that if your hotel does not have access to the water, that most people go to Megan's Bay. And everybody, residents are at Megan's Bay. So the place to be is Megan's Bay, unless your hotel has access to the ocean. But it was a beautiful, they're renovating it really tastefully. But lots of different, not age appropriate, but time frame appropriate antiques in it. Lovely woman, absolutely lovely woman. Your father wouldn't stay because he doesn't have access to the beach. But I could see if you wanted to be in downtown Charlotte Amalie for shopping, for like checking out the handicraft stores, I could see being there for 1 or 2 nights and then moving over to the beach. So, you know, pack your backpack so you can live out of that for 2 days and then move your suitcase and everything else over to the other hotel. So we get home. Your father does his laundry, puts it all away, and yesterday says, where are we going next?
Oh,
So
okay.
I said, we have to wait until I get my car.
Yes.
Because we've also got a series of doctor's appointments.
Yes.
Checkups, all. Because of migraines, I see my migraine doctor every 3 months. So she's coming up, all that kind of things. So then we have to make a choice between hiking in Tucson and the Bahamas.
Okay.
Neither one have we done. So this is going to be rough.
I mean,
rough decision.
Rough times
Very
over
rough.
there.
I know.
Rough times in retirement over there, isn't it?
I'm telling you, we saved tooth and nail.
I know.
For 40-some years. Well, obviously 47 years. And now his knee is better. You know, he does say that we've definitely aged out of chartering boats and chartering bare boats. Where we captain it ourselves. I said, that's good because I'm not getting on another one like that. I'm very happy to be in a hotel where I know the water's going to run, the toilets are going to flush, and there's food around the corner.
Okay.
Because we have been on boats where we've run out of water, we've run out of food, we had a Christmas storm chase us around Antigua. We had waves crash into the dinghy that was hanging off the back of the boat. The gas canister turned upside down and salt water got in the gas canister, so we couldn't start the dinghy once we got into the harbor. It was really exciting. And then the island that we were on, Antigua, the gas station wasn't open past noon on Saturday, so we couldn't even paddle our way to the gas station. We lived for 24 hours on peanut butter and jelly. Actually, it wasn't peanut butter, it was sun butter and jelly. So it can be a testament to your fortitude. We decided we don't have that much fortitude anymore, or we don't want to be tested like that anymore. We did go on a sunset cruise, which was lovely. I mean, the crew was jumping all around, offering drinks and rum punches. I had fruit punch. Your father and I sat in the front of the catamaran.
Nice.
We've never sat on the front of the catamaran on any of the boats that we had.
You did at the end.
One of us would, no, but not both of us.
Oh, not both of you.
Because one of us would be driving the boat.
Yes.
So it was really lovely to be sitting there just going, oh, this is really quite nice. Yeah, we had a really good time. So we'll figure out where we're going next on vacation and when we're going on vacation. We'll see.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely. We had a really, really good time.
Good.
And you had a good time in New Orleans.
Yes. Yes, it was good.
Excellent.
It was good to be away. It was good to be a place where, like, I wore a long sleeve shirt or sweater most of the days, but like I didn't need a coat. I didn't need much else. It was lovely.
We were between 75 and 85 degrees. My ink it's kind of a
It's a fingering weight.
It's a fingering weight. It's kind of a pale white with little pieces of peach and like blue shot through it. So it was very tropical-ish. And I would carry it with me, like tie it over my shoulder, and that was fine for evening. So it was very, very good. I have nothing else.
I've got nothing else either. I'm just trying to continue on this. Yes, we are at my place again, because
they offered dinner.
Because we offered dinner. Also,
and we said great.
Also, because we have to work tomorrow, and also it was just one of those weeks where I was like, no, I don't want to drive that far. So
that's fine.
You were like, yes, dinner. We'll be there.
Offering dinner? Yes. So that was fun.
But yeah. So other than that,
it's time to weave in ends.
I think it's
Of course,
time
I'm
to
not
weave
weaving
in some
I'm
ends.
taking my gauge swatch apart to make
Yep.
my for Sara longer. Honestly, I don't haven't worked with cotton that much, so I don't know how much it's going to shrink back in once I wash it. I'm hoping it will, which is why I wanted to do a ribbed knit one, purl one. But we will continue on that discussion next week. So weave in your ends, and we'll see you. Bye.